Hey comic enthusiasts, welcome to IGH Comics. I'm Iron Galactus. This is a video entry for ALFRED83COMICS and the topic, Juicy. Alright, so let's go over the rules. First, you have to be 18 years of age or over. I am. Second, you must be a subscriber. I have been. You must cover the cost of additional shipping if you live in a remote or foreign location. I would. And lastly, you need to show a minimum of 5 juicy covers of women or men in order to have qualifying entry. So here we go. So I don't have a lot of juicy covers in my comic book collection. It's just generally not what I collect, but I do have a few, and my first is an honorable mention. It's kind of a prelude to my number 1 juicy cover, and that is The Beauty number 1. It was released in August of 2015. The cover art is by Jenny Frison. She's been doing great work. It's an amazing cover. Interior artist is Jeremy Hahn. The story is also by Hahn and Jason Hurley, and it's really about modern day STD. It transforms people into beautiful forms of themselves. The kicker is, you'll probably die from it. It's an interesting story that deals with detectives, sex, death. It's beautifully horrific women and men that are pictured on it. So it's my first honorable mention. Alright, number 5 is one of my favorite. It's a femme fatale who tumbles around the DC universe. It's Harley Quinn. This cover I particularly love is the 25th anniversary special, number 1. It was released last year in September. It's written by Paul Dini, Jimmy Palmiotti, Amanda Connor, Chip Zdarsky. This cover art, though, like I said, is the reason I bought it. It's by Jim Lee. The interiors are mostly done by Amanda Connor. It's a really good mashup of Harley Quinn stories. It's about 48 pages long. It's a cover that just inspired me to get it. It's one of those impulse buys. And the shirt may suggest that she's approachable, but knowing Harley and her puddin' talk, she always lets the guns do the talking. And that's apparent by this cover. Whether it be her hammer or fists, you're usually lights out at the end of it if you think you can get one over on her. So it's a good book, great cover. The next one I have is number 4. This cover is a wraparound cover. I'm not going to pull it out to show you the other side of it. But if you don't know, it's Heathen number 3. This is the variant B. It's written and drawn by Natasha Altrick. It was released in February of last year. This series, like I said, it's a Kickstarter series that took off when it first came out. It's slowed down a little bit, especially on sales, but it is interesting. It's quarterly. It's not released every other day. And it's a cover I think that really shines. It's Freya the god who's on that. And the book itself is about really Vikings and sexuality and challenges the gods. So it's an interesting story. Comic art interior matches the exterior because it's the same artist. But it is a book that I think is pretty juicy, and so I like it. I bought it, and it's one of my favorite upcoming books. So number 3 is a book that has something in common with the next pick as well, and that's the fact that it's an image book. This is a ghost variant, so is the next, and it's Sex Criminals number 1. This is covered by Yuko Shizumo. I probably butchered that, but the interior is Chip Zdarsky. It's had a few Eisners. Stories by Matt Fraction. And this is kind of a juicy cover. It shows the lead character, Susie, in a tub, just barely not showing her feminine wiles. You know what I mean? It leaves a little bit to the imagination, but it is juicy in my opinion. Cover's not too showy, but this book is about 2 people who have a very unique ability that when they have orgasms, they freeze time, and they basically can do what they want for a limited amount. And it's inventive. It's kind of sci-fi, a little criminal. They definitely are not good people, but the book is interesting. This is the only one I own in the series, and the cover is what really attracted me to this, just in case it ever takes off. This is my pick. A lot of people pick A. There's a few cover variants to this number 1 issue, but I like it a lot. So, Sex Criminals. Yeah, number 3. Number 2, this is probably my favorite series. This is one of my 2018 must-buy lists that I had for myself. It's a book I felt incomplete without. I'm kind of a completionist for Saga. I have a hole right now between 9 and 21, but Saga number 7, the Ghost variant, 9.8. It's an all-time favorite of mine. The cover art is by Paul Pope. Interiors by Fiona Staples. She also does most of the exteriors. This is just, like I said, a variant that she didn't do. Story by Brian K. Vaughan. The team of Staples and Vaughan has been highly successful for Image. Between it and The Walking Dead, it's really put Image on the map for sales. And Saga, in my opinion, is the best comic story that I can read right now. It has won Eisner year after year after year. It's pretty amazing. It's kind of a Romeo, Juliet, Game of Thrones galactic, with a lot of family values, a lot of takes that are happening in society. And this particular shows Stock, a character which ends up dying but comes back throughout the series through various forms, not living. But yeah, I really love this. There's a lot of intergalactic activity that happens. That's the way I would say this. So there's some juicy stuff in that as too. Anything goes in Saga. So if you're into that and you're into sci-fi, which I really love, this has amazing art and it has an amazing story. I would suggest picking up a number 1 if you ever could. All right, so my number 1 most juicy cover is a variant of my honorable mention. As I said, the Beauty number 1. In fact, upon purchasing that honorable mention, I saw this in the background. I had no clue what it was. It's a kind of hard to find variant. It's a New York Comic-Con variant, art by Andrew Robinson. And this cover, I only see it occasionally on eBay once in a while, going for about $20-$30 depending on the condition. But it was something that caught me by surprise. It was an impulse buy again. Generally, I don't collect these covers, but you could tell by the background as well as the forefront that it's pretty seductive, pretty risque. Definitely doesn't leave too much to the imagination. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Bought it off of Facebook. And this book is something like I said, I read before. I'm not reading it currently, but I do enjoy this cover, and I do think that it's probably the most juicy cover I have in my whole collection. And yeah, so number 1, The Beauty, New York Comic-Con variant. So those are my juicy covers for Alfred83's Comics contest. It's a great milestone to hit 300. You're doing a great job. I've enjoyed watching your videos. It's been a pleasure to be a part of the contest. I hope that you continue to rise in your subscribers and more people watch you, because it's a great channel that you have. And I really do want to show some appreciation. The link will be listed below. So please go to that. Subscribe them if you're not already. And yeah, thanks for watching. This is IGH Comics. I'm Iron Galactus. I hope you enjoyed the show, and have a good day.